told me the room wasn't real, just a glitch in the system. But then why did I hear knocking from inside it every night, right at 3:17 a.m.? I travel for work. Not the glamorous kind, industrial supply chain stuff. Endless conferences, early flights, and bland hotel rooms that all blur together. That week, I was in a small town in Pennsylvania, just passing through. The company had booked me into the Wyndham Grand, 4 stars, off the highway, nothing fancy. When I walked up to the front desk, the woman barely looked up from her computer. "Name? Daniel Thorne," I said, setting my suitcase upright. She typed for a moment, frowned, then typed again. "Weird, you were supposed to be in room 405, but it looks like it was reassigned this morning." "To who?" I asked. She didn't answer, just clicked a few more times. "No worries. We'll place you in 237. Same floor, same amenities." "Cool. Whatever." I took the key card, nodded politely, and dragged my bag toward the elevator. The weird started almost immediately. There was no room 237. I walked the entire second floor 3 times. The hallway jumped from 235 to 239. No door in between. No blank wall or construction. Just nothing. I even doubled back, thinking maybe I'd missed a turn. Confused, I headed back down to the lobby. "Hey," I said to the clerk. "I think you gave me the wrong room. 237 doesn't seem to exist." She looked at me like I'd just asked her if ghosts were real. "Sir," she said slowly, "room 237 is at the end of the hallway, past 235, right before the supply closet. There's nothing there." She held up her hand. "Just try again. It's there." I should have walked out right then, but I was exhausted and I just wanted to sleep. Back upstairs, I scanned the hallway again. Still 235, 239, then the supply closet. But as I stared, something shifted. It was subtle, like a shimmer, almost like heat rising from asphalt. And then there it was. A door. Room 237. It hadn't been there 5 seconds ago. I just stood there, heart hammering in my chest. But the door looked normal. White wood, gold numbers, keypad lock. Maybe I had just missed it earlier. Maybe I was overtired. I tapped my keycard. The lock clicked open. The room was cold. Freezing, actually. Like someone had left the AC on max and cracked the window in winter. The air felt thick, heavy. It smelled faintly of wet stone, like the air in a cave. Still, the room looked normal. King-sized bed, desk, TV, a little bathroom with flickering lights. I threw my bag down and crashed face first into the mattress. Maybe I was just imagining things. Maybe I needed a drink or a nap or knock. Knock, knock. I sat up, checked the door. Nothing. Glanced at the time. 3:17 a.m. I held my breath for a full minute. Nothing. I wrote it off as maybe someone in the hallway. Thin walls. Old building. Whatever. But the next night? Same thing. 3:17 a.m. Sharp. 3 knocks. From inside the room. Not the hallway. Not the wall. From inside. I checked the bathroom. The closet. Under the bed. I even yanked the drawers out of the dresser like a lunatic. Nothing. On the 3rd night, I set an alarm for 3:10. Sat upright in bed, blanket pulled tight, staring at the door. This time I saw it. The knocking came not from the door, but from the wall to my left. I put my ear to it. Cold. So cold my skin hurt. And then I heard it. A voice. Whispering, barely audible, like it was underwater. Just one word. "Daniel." I yanked my suitcase open and started throwing clothes inside like I was defusing a bomb. I didn't care if it was 3:20 a.m. I was done. I opened the door, ready to bolt to the lobby, but the hallway was gone. Instead, there was another room. Not room 236 or 238. A room identical to mine. Same desk, same bed, same lamp casting that dull orange glow. Except the bed was occupied. I couldn't see the figure's face, just the outline of a person lying there, motionless, stiff. I took a shaky step backward into my room and slammed the door shut. I didn't sleep. I sat in the armchair, eyes fixed on the wall, until sunrise. When I finally got the courage to leave, the hallway was back to normal. Downstairs, a different guy was at the front desk. I handed him my keycard and said, "I need to check out early." He typed into the computer, then frowned. "Sir, it says here you were never checked in." "What?" "No record of your name, your card, your reservation. Nothing. Are you sure it was this hotel?" I didn't respond. I just left. A few days later, back home, I looked up the hotel's website. Downloaded the emergency evacuation map. Room 237 wasn't listed. It went from 235 to 239. No one I've talked to since believes me. My company said they never received a hotel receipt, and the Wyndham Grand said they've never had a room 237. But every now and then, when I wake up at exactly 3:17 a.m., I swear I hear it. Knock, knock, knock. The first time I saw him, he didn't speak. He just slid his ID across the counter, and I swear, when I looked up, he was already gone. I worked the night shift at a small, mid-tier hotel just off the interstate. Not glamorous, not dangerous, just quiet. The kind of place people stop when they're too tired to drive any farther or when something better's booked up. My job's pretty simple. Check guests in, make sure no one's partying in the halls, and drink enough cheap coffee to not pass out by 4 a.m. It was a Thursday night when I first noticed the man. He walked in just before midnight, tall, pale, wearing an old-style brown trench coat that looked like it hadn't been dry cleaned since the 80s. His head was tilted down, casting his face in shadow under the lobby's weak lights. He didn't say a word, just handed me an ID and a credit card, like he'd done it 1,000 times before. I glanced at the name, Douglas Renner, room 217. Except, room 217 was already occupied by a family with 2 kids. Confused, I checked the system. Nothing. No reservation under that name. Still, before I could ask questions, the man took the room key I didn't remember giving him and walked toward the elevator. No sound. No footsteps. Just the soft ding of the doors closing. Thinking maybe I'd spaced out, I checked the cameras. Nothing. No man. No elevator doors opening. Just me, staring at the front desk with a weird, uneasy look on my face. I told myself I was tired. Brushed it off. But the next night? Same thing. 11:58 p.m. The man walks in. Same trench coat. Same blank expression. Slides the same ID across the counter. I don't even reach for it this time. Sir, I say, are you trying to check in? He doesn't respond. Just stands there. Not angry. Not confused. Just there. Then he walks away. Same direction. Same elevator. This time I follow. I don't know why. I just needed to prove to myself I wasn't going insane. But as I round the corner, the hallway's empty. Elevator's still on the ground floor. No sound. No trace. It gets worse from there. The third night, I come in early. I ask my manager about Douglas Renner. Her face goes pale. Where did you hear that name? I tell her what's been happening. She pulls up a file from 5 years ago. There it is. Douglas Renner, age 43, found dead in room 217. Apparent heart attack. Alone. No signs of struggle. He'd been staying at the hotel for weeks before he died. According to staff reports, he never left his room, never let housekeeping in. He only came out at night to pay in cash and extend his stay. Creepy, sure, but not supernatural. Until I saw the photo. Same trench coat. Same blank stare. It was him. The man who'd been checking in every night. I didn't want to believe it. I told myself it had to be some prank, some weird coincidence. Then came night 4. Only this time, I wasn't alone. A new trainee, Daniel, was shadowing me. I hadn't told him anything. Didn't want to freak him out. At 11:57 p.m., the lobby got cold. Not air conditioning cold, funeral home cold. Daniel shivered and said, "Did the heater go off?" Before I could answer, the automatic door slid open. There he was, Douglas Renner. Daniel turned to me and whispered, "Dude, that guy looks sick. Should we call someone?" We both watched as he walked to the desk. Same routine. Slides the ID. Doesn't speak. This time, I pushed the ID back toward him. "I'm sorry, Mr. Renner. We can't check you in. You're not in the system." His head slowly tilted up, and I finally saw his face. Gray skin. Empty eyes. Not just dead, wrong. He opened his mouth, but instead of words, we heard the dial-up tone of an old phone line. Shrill, digital, and choking. Daniel backed away. "What the hell is that?" I blinked, and just like that, the man was gone. No footsteps. No elevator. Gone. We checked every room. Every hallway. Nothing. Daniel quit the next morning. I stayed. Because part of me wanted answers. Last week, I made the mistake of digging deeper. I pulled security footage from the week Douglas Renner died. I watched as he walked past the front desk, went into the elevator, and never came out. The next clip? Housekeeping finding him, face down in the bathtub, staring into a mirror with a smile. His reflection had been grinning back, but upside down. And now, every night, room 217 appears in our system. It's never rented out. Guests can't see it, but I can. And at 11:58 p.m., the door opens on its own. Last night, I got curious. I went up. The hallway smelled like mildew and copper. The air was heavy, thick, like breathing through wet cloth. The door to 217 was cracked open. Inside, everything was spotless. The bed made. The lights dimmed. And in the mirror above the sink, he was waiting. Not a reflection, just him, standing inside the mirror, staring. He raised a finger and pointed at me. Behind me, the door slammed shut. I ran. Didn't look back. Now, every night, the mirror in the staff bathroom flickers. Sometimes it shows my face. Other times, it shows his. Still wearing that damn trench coat. Still waiting to check in. The room smelled like rot, but the bed was still perfectly made. On the dresser sat a cold, half-eaten meal and a note in shaky handwriting. He lives in the mirror. I've been a hotel housekeeper for almost 8 years. It's not glamorous, but I've seen enough strange things to write a book. Drunken fights, weird stains, rooms trashed for no reason. But room 214? That one still haunts me. We were a mid-range hotel just off the interstate in New Mexico. Nothing fancy, clean sheets, continental breakfast, cable TV that barely worked. Room 214 was on the far end of the second floor, near the vending machines and the ice room, mostly used by people who wanted quiet. It had been booked 4 days straight under the name Mr. Leonard. We never saw him. Normally, guests come and go. They check in, check out. But 214 was silent. No one came to the front desk. No requests for towels. No complaints. And every time I walked past with my card, the Do Not Disturb sign hung from the knob like a warning. I didn't think much of it at first. People want privacy, especially those types that don't want to be found. But by day 5, the manager started asking questions. Has Mr. Leonard been leaving the room at all? He asked me during the morning meeting. Not that I've seen, I said. The night shift hadn't seen him either. No one had. The minibar hadn't been restocked. Trash hadn't been put out. Even the security cameras facing the hallway? Nothing. Just that sign swinging like it had been touched by a breeze that wasn't there. Check it today, my manager told me. If he doesn't answer, go in. Just be careful. I waited until noon. I knocked twice, lightly. Housekeeping, I called. Anyone inside? Silence. I knocked again, harder. Still nothing. I slid in my key card. The moment the door opened, a wave of spoiled food and mildew hit me. I gagged. I've smelled dead mice in walls before. This was worse. The room was dim. Curtains drawn. The light in the entry buzzed and flickered. The bed? Pristine. Made like no one had touched it. But on the small table by the window was a tray with crusted over spaghetti, flies circling it like vultures. The glass of water had a dead gnat floating in it. There was no suitcase, no clothes, no phone, just the food. And the note. It was on the dresser, folded neatly like someone had planned for it to be found. Black ink, shaky letters, written in all caps. He lives in the mirror. Do not look too long. I stood there, blinking. I looked up, slowly, at the mirror above the dresser. It was a plain mirror, square, clean. Nothing strange about it, at first. But then I noticed something. My reflection was late. Not by much. A second, maybe 2. But when I tilted my head slightly, the me in the mirror hesitated before following. My heart started pounding. I took a step closer. The smell was stronger now, and somehow colder too, like the air from a freezer. I raised my hand to touch the glass. My reflection didn't move. I froze. It just stared at me, with this awful, neutral expression. My face, but not my eyes. I turned and left the room, fast. I shut the door behind me, ripped the Do Not Disturb sign off the knob, and went straight to the manager. He didn't believe me, of course. Thought I was exaggerating. But when he went up there himself, he came back looking pale. Said we'd refund the stay and mark it vacant. Some guy probably skipped out early, he muttered. We'll get the room cleaned tomorrow. But I knew he hadn't skipped out. Because 2 days later, another housekeeper went to 214. This young girl named Carla, new on the job. She didn't come back. They found her in the corner of the room, curled into a ball, sobbing hysterically. She wouldn't speak for hours, just kept covering her eyes and screaming. Don't let it out. Don't let it out. She quit the next day, moved out of town, from what I heard. After that, we stopped renting out room 214. Management claimed there was a plumbing issue. We even put a padlock on the door. But every so often, someone would hear scratching from inside. Faint tapping, like fingernails on glass. One time, I made the mistake of walking by too late at night. The hallway was dim, just one of the overhead lights flickering. As I passed the door, I saw something in the mirror across from it. A figure, in the reflection only, standing in front of room 214's door, facing me. No face, no features, just darkness in the shape of a man. When I turned around, nothing was there, but the reflection lingered, just long enough for me to know I hadn't imagined it. Now, anytime I clean mirrors in other rooms, I do it fast. I don't linger. I don't let my eyes adjust or try to catch weird details. I wipe and move on, because sometimes, I swear I see someone else blinking just a little too late. And if you ever stay in a hotel and the do not disturb sign hangs for too long, leave it. Some doors aren't meant to be opened.